Welcome to another episode of Simply Bitcoin, where we cover the Bitcoin news, the memes, the culture, everything in this decentralized, peaceful revolution. Today, we have very special guests. We have the legendary Keto Miner. How you doing, Keto?
Hey, what's up?
Happy to have you again. And of course, Askuetu. How you doing, buddy?
Terrible.
Man, people are definitely the bear market, man. The bear market hurts everybody. Everyone's kind of in a bad mood. But we'll get you through it because this is Simply Bitcoin. By the way, Keto and Askuetu are the guys behind the Nodl, and I know a couple of you guys had some questions. We'll get to them. But anyways, Opti, it's time for Number Time. Brought to you by Nodl. They make some of the best Bitcoin nodes. Run your own version of Bitcoin Core, the Lightning Network, Whirlpool, and Dojo, all from the comfort of your own home. Remember, guys, if you don't run your own Bitcoin node like the Nodl, you're using someone else's. And if you're a digital nomad, you have absolutely no excuse because now you can run a Nodl through a virtual private server. Visit nodl.eu. At the time of this recording, the Bitcoin price is at $20,930. The sats per dollar is at 4,778. Bitcoin held in corporate treasuries is 1,491,338. Block height, 746,665. Amount of reachable Bitcoin nodes. That number keeps going down. Went from 16,000 about a month ago. It's at 14,568. The amount of the percentage issued of Bitcoin, 90.97%. Blocks to the halvening, that date could not come any sooner. 93,334. Halving estimate, April 18th, 2024. The Bitcoin block subsidy, the value is at 130,000, and the actual block subsidy, the number that actually matters, is at 6.25. And that number, for anybody that doesn't know, will get cut in half next Bitcoin halving. So anyway, halvening. Everyone says it different. Anyways, I want to read a comment by Pedro Santos. I'm going to direct it to the Nodl guys. It says, where can I find a detailed explanation about the Nodl? I'm really interested, and I'm a recent starting, barely a year, and my main goal is to achieve complete independence with my Bitcoin. Love your show. Thank you, Pedro, for the question. And I saved it for the Nodl guys, so I'll pass it on to Keto first. If Pedro wants to find a really good detailed explanation on the Nodl, where could he find it, Keto?
I guess the best place to start is our website, nodl.eu, and there is a link to the documentation website where there is a growing FAQ on that. Also, don't hesitate to come on Telegram, ask us on Twitter. We are all around the place.
Awesome. You heard it there, Pedro. And Askuetu, I know, man, I know you're feeling bad because of the bear market, but it's that day. Could you do a quick explanation of what the Nodl is so that Pedro feels a little happy?
Yeah, well, I think bear market's the best time to take your time back to actually learn stuff. So, I think I'm feeling really, really good for Pedro going forward. Just take your time and learn everything right now. But, what a full node is really is your key to not relying on third parties. And since we've launched Nodl 4 years ago, we've really helped our customers with their privacy. And, there's just the security of having to rely on no one else really than yourself. It's the best thing you can do for a Bitcoiner.
Yeah, definitely run your own node, because if not, you're trusting someone else. Anyways, I got a video for us to react today. It's by the legendary Hayek. He is the Austrian economist. Let's check it out. Let me remember to enable the sound. There we go. Boom. It's by Gigi. Gigi, awesome. Definitely want to check out. I think it's 21 lessons. Awesome content. Anyways, let's check it out. This is Hayek. Let's check out what he has to say.
Law, language, money, the three paradigms of spontaneously grown institutions. Now, fortunately, law and language have been allowed to develop money has originated in the original form, but as soon as it was there in its most primitive form, it was frozen. Government said it must not develop any further. And what we have had since in development were matters of government inventions, mostly wrong, mostly abuses of money. And I have come to the position of asking, has monetary policy ever done any good? I don't think it has. I think it has done only harm. And that's why I am now pleading for what I've called denationalization of money.
That's absolutely crazy. Looks like that video was recorded maybe in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. But yeah, it's crazy that he had the foresight to understand that. Perhaps that was because of his understanding of what the involvement of governments does to not only the economy, but money as well. Is that your first time seeing that video, Keto? And if so, if not, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, totally first time. Yeah, Jude was a visionary. And clearly money hasn't evolved, has devolved over time.
Yeah.
Until Bitcoin.
Until Bitcoin. Bitcoin fixes this. Ask you too. Same question.
I've seen another one. It's probably the same interview where he kind of predicts where we are today with like Bitcoin and stuff like that. Just like when you read The Sovereign Individual and they talk about like cryptographic coins or money, etc. So first of all, I'm not surprised. What was surprising for me was that I discovered the Austrian school after discovering Bitcoin, like a lot of us did, and a lot of it actually discovered, the other half probably discovered the Austrians first. And, they go really well together. It's really hand in hand. Like, I don't understand I do understand why it's not taught in school, because, the school belongs to the government. But, but really, like, I wish I had learned it before. It just makes so much sense.
Yeah, I remember not reading. Nico buys the books, but he listens to the audiobooks. Now you know. But I still say read.
Thank you.
What about you, Escueto? Are you...
No, I actually know how to read. I can read. I like to read.
I'm pretty sure that's racist. No, I'm just kidding. Or is it? But yeah, no. Wow, you actually read them with the bookmarks?
Well, first of all, I read them, and then I actually help translate like Bitcoin books in French.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So that's my.
Well, I'm an audio
collaboration.
I'm an audio listener. Keto's an audio listener. I'm pretty sure Opti's an audio listener as well. You're a reader.
I am a hard copy maxi. I need to read the book and then I can listen to the audio and I retain the information better, but I can't retain the information just from the audio.
When do you have time to do that, guys?
Not much.
Man. I just if I ever go on a walk or I go to the gym, I just put the audiobook on. I feel like reading it is anyways. Before we go on to the news, Opti, do you want to chime in on that Hayek video? Hopefully that music isn't copyrighted. If I knew it had music, then I wouldn't have played it. But anyway, it sounds classical, so we might have a chance.
Yeah, first off, I just wanted to say, wow, Hayek is so good at explaining things in under a minute, like the history of the problems with money in 1 minute. It's just beautiful to see. And then also, it's just a point that I just love how excited Hayek gets when he talks about economics. And he always comes at it from first principles thinking, which is obviously what most Bitcoiners, or at least good Bitcoiners, advocate for. And I just want to also say, I wish I was an Austrian economist before I found Bitcoin, but I needed to find Bitcoin to even understand Austrian economics. And furthermore, Bitcoin is the perfect money. And it has evolved finally, guys. We got to make that point clear to some people.
Yeah, we do. There was this comment yesterday on Twitter. So some super well-educated guy went to Cornell, whatever, and he's like, Money has and always will be. What was it, Opti? It was like it always will.
Money always comes from the government.
Yeah,
it's not money if it doesn't come from the government.
And it has to come from the government. It's like, wow, is that guy in for a rude awakening? But anyways, Opti, it's time for
the daily news.
Brought to you by CryptoCloaks.com. They make some of the best 3D printed Bitcoin merch, like the famous 3D printed Bitcoin grenade toy. It comes in any custom color your heart desire. That's right. You want it Peter Schiff colors? That's right. He makes it in gold. And you can take advantage of the promo code down below to get 5% off. The European store is now open, CryptoCloaks.com. So, Opti, it looks like we were right yesterday when we said it was very strange that Coinbase was going out and defending one of their ex-employees that got caught insider trading. On yesterday, on the episode that we had with Stefan Livera, I said that they're doing that because the implications, right, of Coinbase actually, selling securities would be a big deal, right? So this came out yesterday. I'm going to read you a little bit. We covered it yesterday, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. It says, earlier today, following a DOJ investigation into former Coinbase employees' misuse of confidential Coinbase information related to listing decisions, the SEC separately filed securities fraud charges against this individual related to this wrongdoing. The crazy part is that this actually defends that and says, no, that wasn't a security. Coinbase would never do that. And it made sense. And our call yesterday was absolutely spot on because literally a couple hours after that episode with Stefan Livera, this dropped. And it dropped pretty late last night, dropped at 8:40 p.m., and the headline is a Bloomberg article says, Coinbase faces SEC probe on crypto listings, shares tumble. Coinbase Global Inc. is facing a U.S. probe into whether it improperly let American trade digital assets that should have been registered as securities. According to 3 people familiar with the matter, the company's share dropped as much as 9%. The SEC scrutiny of Coinbase has increased since the platform expanded the number of tokens in which it offers trading, said 2 of the people who asked not to be named because the inquiry hasn't been disclosed publicly. The probe by the SEC's enforcement unit predates the agency's investigation into alleged insider trading scheme that led the regulator last week to sue a former Coinbase manager and 2 other people. We are confident that our rigorous diligence process, a process that the SEC has already reviewed, keeps securities off the platform. And this is part of what we read to you guys yesterday. As the largest U.S. trading platform, Coinbase lets Americans trade more than 150 shitcoins. If those products were deemed securities, the firm could need to register as an exchange with the SEC. And that's exactly why they went out yesterday and tried to defend that criminal that was caught insider trading. Anyways, tensions bubbled up further July 21st when the SEC accused one of the company's former employees of violating of its insider trading rules by leaking information to his brother, a friend, to buy tokens just before they were listed on the platform. That is literally the definition of insider trading. Anyways, to decide if a digital asset is a security, the SEC applies a legal test, which comes from 1946 U.S. Supreme Court decision. Under that framework, the agency considers a token generally to be under SEC purview when it involves investors kicking in money to fund a company. That's all what these shitcoins do. Anyways, and it goes on to talk about Gensler. That last part, right, about, using those tokens to fund the company. That's what XRP does. XRP owns like the majority of the supply. What do? They sell some XRP tokens every so often to fund operations. We know Ethereum does the same. The Ethereum Foundation literally dumps on retail at the top to what? To fund the Ethereum Foundation. So that doesn't happen in Bitcoin. There is no Bitcoin Foundation that just dumps Bitcoin to fund operations. What operations? So it's a decentralized movement. Yes, there is one GitHub, right? But that's more so out of convenience more than anything. Anyways, Keto, what are your thoughts? What's going on here? I know you're a node guy, and that's what you're passionate about. But Nico is going to force you to talk about a shitcoin casino today, anyways. What are your thoughts, brother?
It's fucking Ponzi's. And I don't agree with you. We buy more Bitcoin to have more Bitcoin.
Wait, what do you mean? You don't agree with me in what sense?
You say like they are selling tokens to get more money. We are buying more tokens to get more money.
It's true. It's true. It's totally different between Bitcoiners and shit. And even all these, and I'm pretty sure the Ethereum Foundation is holding on to Bitcoin as well. Anyways, ask Uetu. I know you're having a bad day, bro, but what are your thoughts?
I think most of them are holding on to Bitcoin, like Tezos is. Like, these things are notorious. But no, it's funny when you see the article, the language, the verbiage, what the people look like. They look like the old bankers that I used to work with, and it has nothing to do with what Bitcoiners are trying to build for the future. It's just like old world.
Yeah.
That's not what we sign up for. We want to make a change because of what these people do and what they've always been doing. And they're just like, those big old megacorps that make a mockery of the plebs.
Yep, that's exactly it. And it's like a continuation. That's what the shitcoins are, right? It's the worst part of the legacy systems.
Exactly.
And because they don't have the actual regulatory framework on paper, all these shitcoin guys take advantage of it, whether it's the ICOs or the Ponzi or the DeFi that really isn't DeFi. It's a scam. Opti, you want to chime in? Go ahead,
And they
guys.
think they will get away with it because unregulated, until it isn't.
Yep, absolutely.
And most of them do.
Most of them do. I mean, but is that changing now with this collapse or of Three Arrows, of Voyager, of Celsius? Because we know that, for example, the ICO boom of 2017, after that collapse, ICOs really didn't make a comeback.
The suits don't go to jail.
Wow, that's a very deep statement. Opti.
Wisdom. Well, I know this is news, but the fails in shitcoin land are happening so quickly. It's absolutely amazing. They just keep piling up and piling up. And we've been covering Coinbase, just the reckoning of Coinbase, and those fails just keep piling up. I just wouldn't want to hold any of these shitcoins on Coinbase right now, or the coin stock itself, because it's not looking that good for them. And guys, since I've been in Bitcoin, and it's not that long, since 2017, we've known that Coinbase has been front running and insider trading on their platform. It's damn near obvious to anyone that's watching, and it's the dirty little secret that is everyone knowing it. So, hey man, I don't know. This isn't looking good for Coinbase. We shall see what actually happens. I have a big bag of popcorn ready sitting on the side. So
yeah, and it definitely makes good content for us to cover. Anyways, I know you guys aren't American, but the implications of this next piece of news are huge. This came out, it was like yesterday or today. It's kind of a slap in the face, but I'll point out why I think it's still a big deal. The Virtual Currency Tax Fairness Act, that name is hilarious, is being introduced today by Senator Pat Toomey and Democratic Senator Kristen Sinema. So it is bipartisan. That's a good sign. To provide tax exemption, here's the slap in the face. Hold on to your chair. For Bitcoin transactions up to $50. Yeah, that's right. I said that right. Or trades with a net gain of up to $50. While digital currencies have the potential to become an ordinary part of Americans' everyday lives, our current tax code stands in the way. And they got a fix for it. They're going to exempt $50. Senator Toomey isn't alone in his opinion, as multiple introductions of legislation have been presented in an effort to ease tax requirements for those looking to transact in or invest small amounts of money into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Currently, the IRS states that the sale or exchange of convertible virtual currency or the use of convertible virtual currency to pay for goods and services in a real-world economy transaction has tax consequences that may result in a tax liability. Therefore, any transaction involving the exchange of Bitcoin is considered a taxable event by the IRS, regardless of how small the transaction may be. So, I tweeted this a couple days ago before this came out, and if this law gets passed, you're saying that Nico, it's $50. What the fuck does it matter? It matters. It opens Pandora's box for the government. I'll explain why. And I tweeted this not too long ago. Why is the government forcing us to earn in a money that is designed to lose value? So, and this goes back to the whole legal tender thing. You're forced to earn in a money that is literally designed to lose value over time. on which the government can print an unlimited amount of quantity of. But if we use a money that is deflationary by design and the purchasing power increases over time, we have to pay taxes because of the design of that currency. It's not, we're not selling it and trying to exchange things. It's not a piece of real estate that goes up in value over time. You're just buying something that's scarce and you still have to pay taxes on that. And the reason that I believe it'll open Pandora's box, because if this passes, the government is going to have to answer a lot of hard questions. Why are we earning into money that's losing value? What's going on there? Why do we have to pay for using a money that is deflationary in nature? Why do we have to pay for that? Anyways, I'm going to ask this question to Askuetu first because he said something very wise in the last segment. He says, suits don't go to jail. Askuetu, what is going on here? Do you have faith in change? Do you believe that this will open Pandora's box for the government? What is going on?
I don't know about Pandora's box, but anytime you have a government, you have to pay no matter what. And they'll always find a way to make you pay. Even if it looks free, you're paying somehow. That's how they live. That's how they make a living. They leech off of you.
Do you believe in the theory from the sovereign individual? Basically making the case that governments are now going to have to provide value because of the power of the internet and, of course, Bitcoin. And it kind of creates this judicial arbitrage where people are going to get to pick and choose what jurisdictions they want to live in, et cetera, et cetera.
I believe in it as far as it's probably one of the best times in the past century or so to actually make a push for it as, free people who want to, have enterprises and be successful and try to fix things that we think are not working, to look elsewhere. Mobility helps a ton now. There will be opportunities. Some plays will be made by governments, corporations, individuals. Maybe the El Salvador thing is a sign that, some countries are saying, you know what, maybe there's a different way. I don't have to align with the West, or I don't have to align with the East. I can play with both and have that third option of doing things differently with Bitcoin, Hopefully there's something. Then, within a couple generations, I don't know how it turns out. Governments are still a big beast.
Yeah, I agree. Governments are a big beast as long as they have the power of the money printer, right? They could just pay the people that they have to pay to enforce what they want enforced. Anyways, Keto, are you excited for that $50 tax exemption?
Actually, I am, because we'll stop hearing American people saying, is this a taxable event? Every time I want to buy coffee in Bitcoin.
Oh, man, it's true.
That's definitely a net positive. But I've seen the article mentioned that before they were trying to put the limit at 200 and then 50. And then in 1 year, 50 will be less than a coffee anyway. So,
yeah, no, it's funny because they were like $200. And I was like, when they announced that, I was like, God damn, that was a slap. They're like, no, guys, we know it's a problem, so we're going to make it 50. Like, oh, man. Anyways, Opti, are you excited?
Is it 50 per transaction?
I don't know. That's a good question.
If I make like 1,000 transactions for $50 each.
That's a good question. But you know how they're going to write the law. That ain't going to have any loopholes in there.
There is one thing, though, with the States is the U.S. might still be the most forward-thinking country when you consider Bitcoin. So I wouldn't discount them in being smart and successful in finding a way to incorporate Bitcoin in their way of life.
Yeah. And I think you go ahead, Keto.
Maybe there's something else as well. Maybe the cost of recording all these taxable events for less than $50 is so high that they just figured they will stop doing it.
That's true. That is a good point as well. But yeah, I'm bullish on certain states in the U.S. And that's the beauty of the U.S., right? That there's at least competition between the states. New York's going to have fun staying poor while they ban Bitcoin mining for God knows what. And Texas is like, all right, guys, you could do that, and we'll just bring them over here. So I am bullish on the States because of that. Anyways, Opti, you want to chime in?
Yeah, well, I was going to first echo what you guys said. Wasn't at first it was like $600 transaction won't be taxed, and $250, and now we're at $50, and it just seems to be going lower and lower. And then furthermore, I saw Pat Toomey is in there, and if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure he is an adamant Tether truther. So shouts out to Toomey. And then furthermore, not only is he a Tether truther, but he's incentivizing micropayments, guys. That's what he's doing here, because he wants you to spend $50 in Bitcoin every single day or whatever. He is allowing it. But yeah. I'm just trolling here. I'm trolling. All I got is a troll.
What's going to end up happening, though, is that like a lot of Bitcoin products, it'll be like, and 4 easy payments of $49.99. Like that's probably what's going to end up happening. Anyways, guys, before we move on to the fail, Keto, before we started recording, you told me that you guys were going to start accepting credit card. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, people were asking for it for some time already, and we decided to run a test. To make it easy for us, we are opening 4 countries now, which is the US, Canada, Australia, and the UK. Just because the taxation rules are easy for us to manage. On the new store, we will open for the world, but yeah, currently it's USD only and for these 4 countries.
Awesome. So now
it's on the store now. So if you go to the store now, try to order from these countries, you will get
is
the
UK
USD
a
payment.
country?
It's a kingdom. Anyways, you can order this right now with credit card in those countries. Anyways, Opti, it's time for
The Daily Fail.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans, instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan at Simply Bitcoin because it aligns with our values. What are our values? They incentivize self-custody and they incentivize dollar cost averaging. So you spread out the risk. Visit swanbitcoin.com. Oh, God.
All right, guys. Yes,
This
you
looks
know
promising.
what we're talking about. Okay, so I saw these videos yesterday, and we are doing a continuation of what we talked about yesterday, whether or not we are in a recession and what is actually a recession. And then we got these videos. We got 2 videos today that are just so beautiful coming out of the White House. So let's start this first one. As you can see, Disclose TV has a post right here. Biden says, we're not going into a recession. Let's hear him squabble.
And Mr. President, we're getting GDP numbers on Thursday. How worried should Americans be that we could be in a recession?
We're not going to be in a recession, in my view.
And Mr. President, we're getting...
Yes, okay. Remember yesterday, we also had Janet Yellen telling us that we are not going into a recession. Furthermore, they are not only telling us that we are going into a recession, or not going into a recession, excuse me, but they are redefining the terms of what a recession
That's why
is.
we're not going into a recession.
That's exactly why we're not going into a recession. So let's hear what is going on here. So again, Disclose TV now. White House declines to define what a recession is. Again, let's hear them squabble.
And what is exactly the White House's definition of a recession?
Again, I'm not going to define it from here. I'm just going to leave it to the NBER as we have stated of how they define recession.
You won't declare it one until they have declared it one.
I'm just saying that we're just not going to define it. We use the indicators that the NBER, the National Bureau of Economic Research, have used. We've mentioned that a few times.
And what is exactly...
Okay, guys. I think this fail is pretty self-explanatory because the single definition of what a recession is 2 back-to-back quarters in the negative, guys. So they know what they're doing. They're redefining the terms out there so that they can confuse the masses because, as you know, as a Bitcoiner, the house is not fine. Financial system is on fire, and they are trying to put it out with whatever fire extinguisher they can. And their main tool is PR. Hence why we do this show every single day, is because we got to combat these narratives, this FUD, and their plain stupidity. They think we are a lot dumber than they are. They think we can't see these narratives and the narratives that they're pushing. But we got the receipts, and we talk about it every single day. Rewind or go back to yesterday's show, and I did a whole 10 minutes of this fail and why it is wrong. But today's a little quicker. We have guests. So, Nico, what is your thoughts? I do have one more fail, but I thought this could be a little quick one, self-explanatory.
Yeah, dude. I mean, first of all, Joe Biden, I think he has the virus, so I'm glad that he's doing well, because that would be even more of a disaster. So that's first bit. Second bit is like, dude, it's the 1984, right? War is peace. Redefine. Just because you redefine something doesn't mean you change the truth about it. Doesn't mean you change the reality. Yeah, I think they're just more concerned about the narrative and controlling it than they are about the truth. But I would not discredit them too much, because that type of PR is actually very effective for most people. Most people don't have the time to verify. Most people don't know what a recession was. I didn't know what the actual definition of a recession was before I started doing Simply Bitcoin, and then that kind of forced me to learn all this financial bullshit that I would have never have learned. So, yeah, man, they're just covering their own asses. It is an election year. The midterms are coming up. Inflation, the economy going down, recession, gas prices, they're extremely damaging politically. Most people don't care about social issues. They care about is how much money they have in their pockets. So what they're doing is just damage control. But again, this doesn't really apply to me because I've decided to opt out of political money and store my wealth, my time, my energy in Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm glad Joe Biden's okay, I guess. That's what I got to say about that. Anyways, Keto, what are your thoughts?
What did she say? The National Bureau of Economic Recession?
Opti?
I believe so. I could replay it.
Yeah. Research
Can you hear
recession.
They got a bureau for everything, don't they? Credentials.
That was supposed to be three
it was
letters.
economic research, but yeah. Well, I was trying to make a joke.
So, yeah, I mean, anyways. Ask Hueto, what do you think?
You know, I mean, I totally agree with you on, just damage control and their techniques being well-oiled and highly effective, even though it's very disturbing for us to hear that kind of stuff. But it's, refer to specialists, use jargon that most people actually don't know the exact definition of, is just the main tool you get on TV every single day. But the real question is, most people in the US, in other countries, like you see in Europe here, is at the end of the month, people can afford less than they could a year ago, 10 years ago, 50 years ago. At some point, people need to understand or ask themselves why. And that's because, the value of the money's going down.
Yep.
Just get out of it.
Absolutely. And one of my favorite websites is Priced in Bitcoin. And it literally shows you how life gets cheaper if you're living on a Bitcoin standard versus living on a fiat standard. And then that kind of makes you optimistic about the future, right? Because it's all of a sudden doors open, which you never have before. And I think a lot of people, they blame the economic system, they blame the government. At least in the US, it's a two-party system. So when the Democrats are in power, the Republicans are it was the Democrats the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 50 years later, nothing has changed, whether
Correct.
you have 2, 3, 5 parties. Yeah.
Correct. So, yeah, and I think people really underestimate how much fixing the money really would fix the world. That's at least what we fight for every day. Anyways,
Absolutely.
Opti, What's going on? What's the next fail?
Yes, sir. I got you. Okay, this one is a little more spicy, guys. This might be a little more of a discussion than the previous one. So I saw this yesterday. There's this tweet by this company, STFXIO, says, first of many big announcements, we are happy to announce we raised $2 million from a fantastic group of investors. So it's not really about the platform, but we will get into it. So apparently STFX is invest in best trade ideas, earned fees for creating single trade funds. STFX is a DeFi marketplace for turning trade ideas into investable vaults. Okay, whatever. Anyways, the fail is this, and I don't mean to pick on anyone. This is more to make a point. So we got this comment right here, Simp Influencer X, and he goes, wasn't Brad Mills last seen banishing people from the Bitcoin community for failing his purity test? Money talks. So he's right here, Brad Mills, as one of the seed round investors. And then, of course, Magoo is just starting all kinds of chaos on Twitter. He tags him. And this is where the fail goes. And guys, this is where I think the discussion we will have leads. So he goes, I've never been secretive about my strategy. And Magoo goes, what strategy is that? And he goes, two-pronged strategy. One, investing in but never promoting crypto companies, shitcoin companies, as a Bitcoin maxi on the cap table to align them with Bitcoin layers. And two, extracting value from the shitcoin bubble like Robinhood and deploying it to Bitcoin-only companies. And then we got this guy responding, HazeFi. The hypocrisy of these Bitcoin maxis. I buy shitcoins to make money to buy Bitcoin, then proceeds to criticize others that do the same all day long. Brad Mills responds with, actually, I said that I will take the proceeds and deploy it to help Bitcoin. Hayes responds, I know what you said, and you just repeated it again. You will dump on retail to buy/build for BTC. Look, mate, I don't criticize the practice. It's business. It's just hypocrisy to call out shitcoiners all day and be a shitcoiner yourself. And he responds again, you said again, buy BTC. I'm not buying BTC with any proceeds. I'll be paying my taxes, then using any profits to support Bitcoin development and people building Bitcoin tech. It's not hypocritical at all. I don't promote this stuff. I have an issue with promoting it. And then Hayes responds with, by the very fact your name is in this list, it might give this project a sense of legitimacy. That is a promotion in itself, so you are in fact promoting it, even if you tell yourself you aren't. Reality doesn't change according to the opinion you have about what you are doing. Also, doesn't matter what you do with the money you will be using to support Bitcoin tech will be coming out mostly from unaware retail that will ape into this next cycle. We know how this works, and therefore you are doing exactly what you tell yourself to be against. This is therefore the exact definition of hypocrisy. You can do all mental gymnastics you want, maybe to feel better about yourself, whatever it is the reason. Some people do that because they can't accept the reasons why they do certain actions. It's just a form of escape. And he responds, I think it's pretty dumb to not take as much value from crypto VCs and crypto traders and redistribute it to Bitcoin. I'm balancing the scales. And Uncle Jim responds, my scales are lopsided. Please help. Okay, guys. Well, this comment reminded me of a tweet by my buddy Ayi Dieter Bob. And since he's gotten so many nuked accounts, I couldn't find the actual tweet. But it was back to the idea of, I will not be trading shitcoins or even putting liquidity into shitcoins because I am putting liquidity into scams and I'm wrecking retail on the back end. Now, guys, we can discuss on all, the business aspects of this, but is this a fail? Because personally, I would consider it a fail for someone to, on the one hand, have a purity test on being a Bitcoin maxi, and on the other hand, providing liquidity for these scams, and then, of course, doing the noble thing of taking that money to Bitcoin development. Nico, I see you shaking your head. What are your thoughts?
It's tough, dude, because sometimes you got to raise money, but at the same time, like for Brad, I would definitely consider that a fail because he definitely positions himself as a Bitcoin purist. And dude, look, I'm a libertarian at heart. You got to do what you got to do. We on this show, we've never like said, look, this is what you got to do with your money. We tell you why Bitcoin is the only true cryptocurrency, why it's the only store of value. We make a good argument as to why we believe that shitcoins are a scam, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, it's your fucking choice to do what you want with your money. I think it's shitty taking advantage of shitcoins, because at the end of the day, you are dumping on retail. That's something that I chose not to do in my personal life. I have invested in Bitcoin companies, only Bitcoin companies. I think I wouldn't be able to do this show if I was investing in shitcoin companies, right? It would be kind of hypocritical of me. So, but again, that's a personal choice. That's what I do personally. Opti, I know that you feel the same way. But again, I'm also, not heading a, multi-million-dollar company. I know that some very predominant Bitcoin companies have taken money from people that also fund shitcoin projects. And dude, like, I'm not in their position. I could just answer for myself. Personally, I don't do that. I think it's unethical, but I'm not going to put in any words into anybody's mouth. That's how I feel about it. Anyways.
Keto, ask you what to.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a difference between taking money from people who finance also shitcoin companies and investing yourself in shitcoin companies and dumping that on the market and using that money to fund Bitcoin companies. And yeah, I mean, definitely for him, it's a fail. And I set my personal limit to having drinks paid by shitcoiners at parties.
Well, the shitcoiners definitely they don't buy drinks, they buy the bottles, man.
Yeah, they buy the parties.
The Bitcoiners are like, nah, man, I'm not going to spend my... That's when you know what money is true, what money isn't. Anyways, Askuetu. This is a tough one, man. For Brad...
I don't know.
For Brad, it's not. Because for Brad, that's a fail. Because he definitely markets himself as a purist. But for that company raising money... Is that a fail, Askuetu?
I don't know. I don't know that guy, so I can't comment on him. But like, I somehow in the tweet that one of the guys asking questions was saying, "Well, okay, I respect business for what it is. Meaning, as long as you get money, that's okay. But people forget about morals all the time.
Yes.
It's like, is it right or is it wrong? Is dumping on retail wrong? Well, then just don't do it. Is investing in projects other than what we're interested in fine? Well, hell yeah. I mean, that's not morally wrong. You can invest in whatever you want. We might disagree on it, but that's fine. It's just like pretending to find value where you don't really find value. You just think you're gonna make a quick buck. It's just dirty. It's not business. It's immoral.
I agree, and
that's
I agree with that 100%. But right, the part where I don't know, I'm not in those shoes. What if you're taking money from a company that also invests in shitcoin companies? Is that immoral?
I don't think money itself has any morality. It's like the dollar doesn't have a morality. If not, man, it's really bad. And you could say the same of all other currencies. It's like the whole debate, like, is the gun responsible for killing people? Like, the gun doesn't really kill unless someone shoots it, So I think money is neutral, and I think Bitcoin is neutral. So taking money, it's like, what type of relationship do you want with people? If they're scammers, then don't take the money. Mm-hmm. If it's not the money the problem. It's the way people behave and your willingness to accept things that you shouldn't just because you might gain from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, Keto, you wanted to chime in on that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's also very hard to find companies that only invest in Bitcoin projects. Our investor is one, but there are maybe like one or two other ones, and all the others have at least some participation in some shitcoin or token project. And some people just accept A16Z as an investor.
Oh, no, but they're demons. That's totally that's a whole other level of that. That is literally accepting blood money. Like if A16Z knocked on the door and said, "Hey, I got money," you're like, I know where that came from. So yeah, I think you're right. I think it's definitely a case-on-case approach, but definitely as an individual, and what we're for on the show is about, individual personal responsibility. I definitely think it's amoral to invest in a shitcoin company or shitcoins trying to grow your Bitcoin stack, because at the end of the day, the loser in that is someone on retail that doesn't know exactly what they're buying, or they think they're buying the equivalent of Bitcoin because of the unit bias, because of how strong the unit bias is. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, Opti, is that it?
Yeah, that's it for today. Well, yeah, that's it for today.
All right, Opti, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review.
Brought to you by Citadel 21. It's the best Bitcoin cultural zine. Savage. Pleb signal in here. Bitcoin comics, articles, artwork. It's awesome. This is artwork for volume 10. This is artwork for volume 2. And this is the artwork for volume 11. Volume 2 is almost sold out because there's only 1,000 physical copies made per volume. Get your prints of Citadel 121 today before they run out.
All right, guys. I am here to do the meme review. First off, we got our boy RD Bitcoin. Let me see. How do I make this move? Oh, it's a GIF, but it's not working. But anyways, RD goes, "We loving it." And it's this girl crying, and it goes, "Shitcoiners getting wrecked in the bear market." And this is supposed to be a GIF. It's supposed to be him dancing in the background, and it goes, "Bitcoin hodling and DCAing." Unfortunately, the GIF didn't show up, but RD, good work, good work. Next one from @BestBitcoinMeme. It's got the Star Trek format here, and we go on the top one. It's basically a knockoff of the Drake meme, and it goes, "Saying Bitcoin wastes energy because you only look at the cost," and then you point at knowing Bitcoin uses energy because you look at the value it provides to the billions around the world without a bank account. Yes, exactly. And again, shout out to Rope. Rope, you've been killing it, bro. I see you. So, and of course, this is a meme that me and my boy Nick Can't Mine are huge fans of. Bitcoiners are built different. So we got the NPCs with the crying face and the happy mask over, and it goes, "Shitcoiners, bro, Luna 3.0 will be lit." And then this guy crying, "I got liquidated again." And then plebs, "Fight me, bro. Let's fucking go. Bitcoiners built different." Okay, next one. Since we had Coinbase in the news, I thought this one was going to be very fitting. Shout out to Satwise. And he goes, "At Coinbase, be like, I don't know what a security is. And at this point, I'm too afraid to ask." Yes. If you know this show, you know the vibe. I forget what is this. Anyways, I'm blanking on what the show name is. We're going to keep it moving. Next one is by @MyBuddy @Don'tSell. And he goes, again, back to the meme, the Buff Pepe template. "Reasons to live, your Bitcoin friends," with a smile and a twinkle in his eye. Yes, this is the reasons to live. And then Hans, I had to put this one in, guys, because if you've been around for a while, if you were around in 2017, you saw people go from maximalist to shitcoiner really quick. And this is a throwback. And when this came out, guys, it was absolutely hilarious. But now we got an addition to the meme. So we got Anhan saying his star will continue to rise. And we have the famous Kevin Pham doing kicks on the roof meme with Nick Carter's face over it. This is Nick Carter. His star will continue to rise. Be scared. Very scared. That's the whole meme. It's ridiculous. I know. There's no climax to it, guys. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, good laugh. Great memes, guys. I am going to give it this Kershaw switchblade that I found. Highly recommend this knife, guys. I don't know how much it costs, but I found it, and it's a great utility knife. Very, very good.
Dude, first of all, why the F would you record yourself doing? They weren't even that good of kicks. Like, the form wasn't that great. Like, if the form was great, Okay, record yourself, put it on YouTube, go for it. But it was average form. Anyways, his star will continue to rise. I'm going to give it this journal entry in this suspicious black journal. And it says, buy Bitcoin. Yeah, that's what I could give those.
Did you scribble that before the show to get the meme review?
I totally did. And I have no shame. Just like those kicks were average, so was this score. And I don't care. Keto, what would you give those memes?
I'm giving them my brand new Flipper Zero that I just received last week. It's a very go-hacking tool.
Oh, okay. Flipper Zero. It looks. I feel like you like it a lot, don't you?
I do.
I can tell. Ask Uetu, what would you give those memes?
Price tag from a pair of pants that you thought.
That is the best score of the meme review. Anyways, guys, we want to know if you agree with the scores, you disagree. Let us know down in the comment section. Rate the memes. Make sure to join our awesome Telegram group. It's a party in there. You could link us the Bitcoin memes to review so we could review them on the meme review. It's absolutely free. It literally takes 2 seconds. And of course, make sure to subscribe to us on alternative video platforms like rumble.com and our personal favorite, bitcointv.com. Anyways, Opti, it's time for... there was a website by Pleb. Why don't you show everybody?
Website by Pleb.
Brought to you by CypherSafe. Don't be that person that stores their seed on paper. That sucks. Paper... You get flooded, get wet, turn on fire, your dog or your cat or a T-Rex, a dinosaur could eat that paper. You don't want that. You want to store your seed on metal. And there's no other better place to do it than the Cypher Wheel or the Cypher Grid. It's metal, it's pet-proof, it's waterproof, it's fireproof. Visit cyphersafe.io.
All right, guys. I'm taking a little different angle here than usual, because I gotta plug Becca right now on her Bitcoin Twitter weekly gossip on Twitter. So she's been killing these covers, these meme troll covers, but she does have a website to them, and you could see her. She is still memeing us to death, but we know what's going on. It's Yellow's 3 rules to the bear market: stack sats, fight, and tweet about building. So go follow at BT Weekly Gossip on Twitter and check out Becca's website. She needs to get an actual website. So Becca, I know you're listening. I know you're watching this show. So win real domain. Keep it up, Becca. Hold on. I got it for you, Becca.
I am building.
Anyways, guys, make sure you check us out on Anchor, Spotify, and Fountain for the value content, because we are everywhere. Support the show in the audio form. Back to you, Nico.
Awesome. Thanks, Opti. Opti, what's the second best?
There is no second best.
Exactly. Anyways, guys, make sure to check Simply Bitcoin's blog, www.simplybitcoin.news. Make sure to check our awesome clothing sponsor. Opti and I wear the hoodies every single day. RepresentLTD.com. They're stylish. They're comfortable. He's making Bitcoin merch. He's making Simply Bitcoin merch. Take advantage of the promo code down below. Visit www.representltd.com. I also want to give a very special shout out to our awesome guests. You can go give Keto a follow at Keto Miner, and of course Askeweto. You can give him a follow at Askeweto, and of course these are the Nodl guys, the best Bitcoin nodes. Visit nodl.eu. They're accepting credit card now. There's literally absolutely no excuse. If you're a digital nomad, they got you. They got Nodl Cloud. Definitely go check it out. Guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Of course, you want to continue hearing the Bitcoin news, catastrophic fails by the shitcoiners, central bankers, governments, the memes, the Bitcoin culture that Opti brings. Definitely consider subscribing to Simply Bitcoin. And we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for a brand new episode.
I am building.